dismantle criminal networks. In a statement on Monday, Mrs. Bissard-Bissessar said that since American support to Trinidad and Tobago's protective services increased last year, there has been a heightened unease from individuals who had benefited from illegality and criminality. Despite what she described as attacks and criticism directed against the protective services, the Prime Minister said members of the Police Service, Defence Force, Strategic Services Agency and Prison Service continue to perform their duties with dedication and sacrifice. Mrs. Bissard-Bissessar said government remains committed to working with international partners to dismantle the local drug trade and restore public safety. She also pledged an end to what she described as a tiered justice system, insisting that wealth, social status, ethnicity, or location would not place anyone above the law. In other news, all branches of the Works Credit Union remained closed on Monday as employees undertook industrial action, disrupting services in Port of Spain, Arima, San Fernando, and Tobago. The protest comes after years of unresolved wage negotiations, with workers expressing dissatisfaction over proposed salary increases ranging from 1% to 4%, despite the credit union reporting multi-million-dollar profits.
Without the workers' labor, you would not have been able to make those millions. You understand? So by way of making millions, give us what is fair just.
Works Credit Union employees launched industrial action on Monday morning, shutting down all branches across the country as workers press for improved wages after years of stalled negotiations. Speaking during Monday's protest outside the Credit Union's Port of Spain headquarters, Works Credit Union Representative Curtis McCain said the action was driven by workers' demand for fair compensation. He said repeated requests for negotiations since 2024 received little response, with management meeting union representatives only once in April 2026, following intervention by the Ministry of Labour. Mr. McCain said workers were offered wage increases ranging from just 1% to 4%, despite the institution reportedly earning millions of dollars over the last 5 years. Meanwhile, Labour Relations Officer Hayden Hernandez said the board met last week but failed to address the issue of salary increases.
A letter to me on Thursday saying that they want this thing urgently settled, so we would meet in 3 weeks' time. That's why it's urgently settled something. In 3 weeks' time, this board has disrespected us from the beginning. They took 2 years to submit proposals, and when they submitted, they submit 2%. And then they had the ministry slow walking us to the last 4 months. The workers decided enough is enough.
Mr. McCain said fresh negotiations are scheduled for August 14th, but until an agreement is reached, all 4 branches nationwide are expected to remain closed. Mr. Hernandez added that 35 employees remain without a pay increase. Monday marked the first day of the strike, but Mr. McCain warned that industrial action could continue for as long as 3 months if workers' concerns are not addressed. In some sport now, NBA draft pick Malik Lewis paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs on Monday as he prepares to inspire the next generation of local athletes. Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs Philip Watts welcomed San Fernando-born Malik Lewis and his manager Jonathan Weeks on a courtesy visit to his office on Monday morning. Lewis, selected 60th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2026 NBA draft, told the minister he left Trinidad and Tobago at age 6 and didn't pick up a basketball until he was 16. While home, Lewis says he plans to meet with local sporting committees and share his story with young athletes. He's been training at the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs elite facility in Tacarigua, keeping up his morning and evening sessions. Minister Watts says Lewis's rise should be a motivation to athletes nationwide. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran, on this wonderful Tuesday. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. Happy Tuesday. How are you feeling?
Happy Tuesday.
Are you well rested?
I am pretending to be well rested. You know, okay. I wear it with a smile because this is a good day and one that we should be happy for. Every day that we see above ground is one that we should be happy and grateful for.
Absolutely. You know, I always tell you that I think on Tuesdays we have learned from the mistakes of the weekend where we did not rest for Monday. So we try to get a little extra rest before Tuesday, and I think we feel a lot better. I think everyone's in great spirits this morning, and I absolutely love that. And we're excited because CPL season is finally here. Are you ready?
I am as ready as I was for the
Did
World
I
Cup.
send you the new bandwagonist form for CPL
No,
2026?
I need the new one, please.
I will
I need
email
to make
that
sure I
to
fill
you.
it out early this time. Last time, I filled it out a little bit late. But do they have many slots so that I could put the different teams at the different stages of the competition?
This year you just get one, and that's it. And I'm so sorry, Carrie.
Okay.
But they're making it harder for you to be a bandwagonist, but that's okay. Actually, it's also hard to get tickets because, since tickets went live yesterday.
But the thing is, you are
they're sold
Virmala. You are Virmala, so I think you personally would have no problem getting tickets.
Here we go. No, actually, that's not true. But we are chatting a little bit about the CPL and the fact that tickets are hot commodities this year during the show today. Actually, when we kickstart the show, we'll be chatting with the head of communications and public relations for the CPL. So that's something that you can look forward to. But my burning question this morning, chicken curry or curry chicken?
I am a proud citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and for my and a chef on top of it.
Okay.
Right? So for my entire life, being that I am from Trinidad and Tobago, as long as I am making chicken with curry spices in this country, it will forever be called curry chicken.
Curry chicken. Okay.
All right? Let me just make that emphatically clear.
Except for when the bandwagonists say that it should be a different story. But that's okay, Carrie. I'll just give you that opportunity. Regardless. Regardless of who you support.
You should just make nice with me, and I will make you curry chicken.
Well, look at that. At least I get to, take a break from the curry for a little bit. Well, thank you for, chatting with me this morning, Carrie. We have a packed show ahead. As I said, we are chatting a little bit about CPL, tickets, and a lot of other burning issues happening across Trinidad and Tobago, and so much more.
All right, well, put in a good word for me on the CPL tickets, right? I mean, you have a visa face, so you could just flash the smile and you inside. But
what kind of friends I have, boy. I'll talk to you soon, Carrie.
All right, looking forward to it.
Bye.
Thanks so much, Virmala. When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this short break.
Who says you have to wait until December? This July, TTT brings the warmth, wonder and magic of Christmas in July. Escape into heartwarming Christmas movies every weekend, filled with love, laughter, family, romance and unforgettable holiday moments. Then keep the celebration going with spectacular musical entertainment featuring beloved local performers, festive concerts and inspiring performances from both young and established talent. It's the perfect reason to gather the family, make lasting memories and celebrate the joy of the season right in the middle of the year. Christmas in July, all month long, only on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
You are dearer to me than all the stars. So many wish but never reach. 'Cause when I'm falling and all the world seems dark, you help me find my peace. Oh, shun mi ba fishani. Oh, shun mi ba.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is limitless.
Tuesday, 28th July 2026. The time now, it is 6:11 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Well, after a one-year absence, Queen's Park Oval is once again the home of the Tobago Knight Riders cricket. All 5 of TKR's group stage matches in the 2026 Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League will be played at the iconic Port of Spain venue, bringing the tournament back to one of its most historic and electrifying grounds. Well, fans can also look forward to a special Independence Day clash on August 31st as the Oval once again takes center stage in the CPL calendar. Well, joining us now to discuss the return of the Oval, what fans can expect this season, and the growing impact of the CPL across the region is Mr. Peter Miller, Head of Communications and Public Relations for the CPL. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, Peter.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I understand that you are joining us live from Wales, so thank you for making the time to be here with us.
It's a very reasonable hour on this time zone for me to be joining you, so delighted to be here.
All right, well, the Oval is back in business with all 5 of TKR's group stage home matches returning to the Queen's Park Oval. What led to this decision now to bring the tournament back to the iconic venue?
Primarily, it's about the logistics of moving the tournament around. As you saw last year, we had all of the games at one venue. This year, we have all of the games at the one venue. And it's in a nice way, it's nice that it's shared between the two. The logistics of moving a CPL TV setup from one stadium to the other stadium and getting it all ready to go is incredibly difficult. You've got trucks and trucks of stuff, close to 100 people working on the game, and people working through the night to try and do it. So finding a time for them to do that in a way that's safe and makes sense from all those point of view, you know, you're asking people already with CPL to work for a ridiculous number of hours, but then asking them to rig a stadium, de-rig it, which takes 8-9 hours, and then re-rig it to go again the following day is very, very difficult for them to do. So that's one of the reasons. But there's also lots of other bits and pieces that go into the decision to try and have the games all in one location. But primarily, as is the case with CPL throughout the year and throughout the tournament, whenever we do it, a lot of it is just down to the logistics of running the tournament in the way that we do. So you've got to remember, CPL is the only T20 tournament that's going to take place this year across 8 different nation states. That involves 8 different lots of customs, immigration. We have to move all of our TV equipment via air. Obviously, you would be doing it via road once you got to Trinidad. But more than anything else, it's just finding a way to make the games as accessible as possible for people to come along and watch. People love watching games at the Oval. Some of the most iconic nights in CPL history have been there, not least the 2015 final, where Trinidad and Tobago won the tournament. So, yeah, very excited to be back at Queen's Park Oval, and very much looking forward to being back in Trinidad again, one of my favourite places in the world.
Yeah. So we understand the logistics of, keeping it at Queen's Park, but what is it about the Queen's Park Oval that really makes it such a special venue for this tournament?
I think one of the great things about the Queen's Park Oval is you feel like the crowd is on top of you, and that's something you hear lots of cricketers talking about a lot, right? You just don't feel like anyone's very far away from the action. No, I love Brian Lara. I think Brian Lara is probably one of the best cricket stadiums in the world in terms of facilities, etc. But you are a little bit further away there. You've got that big gap around the crown, whereas at the Oval, you just feel like everyone's on top of you. It obviously has that reputation for being one of the best places for a night out anywhere in the Caribbean and anywhere in the world. So, and then as well, there's the history, right? You can't take away from the history of some of the most iconic, not just CPL, but West Indies cricket moments that have taken place at the Queen's Park Oval. So very excited to be going back there, very excited to be having games there. And if you look at the social media comments, everyone talks about how the vibes at Queen's Park Oval are are the best. Everyone has their preferences, right? But I think there's a lot of people that truly love games at QPO, and the Queen's Park Cricket Club have always been fantastic hosts for us whenever we've gone.
Yeah. Well, the Oval has actually, produced some unforgettable CPL moments over the years. So do you expect now the atmosphere this season to be even bigger, given the return to the Queen's Park Oval?
Yeah, for sure. And fans are everything for us, right? Like we say it all the time, but we really can't emphasize it enough. If the fans aren't interested in CPL, CPL's not a thing. And I've been at games at Queen's Park Oval in 2020 when Trinidad and Tobago did a fantastic job of hosting our tournament inside the COVID-19 bubble. And I can tell you right now, playing games of cricket in Queen's Park Oval with no one there is just not the same. You know, you need to have people in the ground. You need the music, you need the drummers, you need the dancers, and all of the other things that make it really, really special. So it's people being interested in coming. The reason why I have the job that I've got, the reason why I'm in the position where I'm enjoying being able to come to the Caribbean. And for that, we're just hugely grateful for everybody who comes along and joins. And we've seen that demand for tickets now that they went on sale yesterday has been absolutely unreal.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you, could this return to Queen's Park Oval be the reason why we're seeing that tickets are actually sold out? Can you confirm that for us?
Not quite sold out. We've kept some tickets back. So there's obviously the Independence Day game against the Guyana Amazon Warriors, right? And I think one of the things that CPL has done is really cemented that Guyana versus Trinidad rivalry in a way that probably wasn't really there, but in regional cricket. Obviously, there's lots of inter rivalries, but when you're there as a visitor, you've got the chicken curry chicken derby, and all of this other stuff. They've got signs in the crowd, and the real passion that people have for those two teams, and is fantastic. And then to have that on Independence Day is fantastic. Hopefully, it finishes early enough that I can be there on the roof of my hotel in Port of Spain watching the fireworks over Queen's Park Savannah and all of the other things that makes that a really special day for Trinidad. So that's really exciting. But we've held some tickets back for the box office. I'm always really conscious that CPL is about accessibility. So we want to make it as easy as possible. We know not everybody wants to buy tickets online. So at some point in the next couple of days, we're just sorting out the logistics of it. That box office will be open and people will be able to buy physical tickets there. So none of the games are sold out, but the online allocation for tickets for that Guyana Amazon Warriors game has gone. We also will be having the party stand tickets coming live very shortly as well. So if you haven't got your tickets yet for that game, you've not missed out completely. There will be more opportunities to come. So I think 25 or 30% of the tickets have been held back for the box office. Yeah. So they've got that to look forward to as well. So yeah, but I mean, I'm not hugely surprised at the demand for CPL in Trinidad. If you look at every single post that we've been put up, or we've been sorting the logistics of this, people have been talking about when the tickets are on sale for Trinidad, right? People want to come along and watch, especially that Trinidad-Guyana game. And I think it's going to be all the more special for it to be at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Independence Day, where everyone's had the day off. And that's going to be a big focus of it. We'll have the parade in the morning and then that game in the afternoon. And it's going to be a really special day as you guys celebrate your fantastic country.
Yeah, as Trinis, we do love a holiday and we do love celebrating our country, and also that age-old battle of curry chicken and chicken curry. I'm very inclined to ask you, which do you prefer? But I don't think I should drag you into that one.
You would definitely be asking me to, as I've said lots of times before, when it comes to CPL teams, having worked for this tournament for 10 years, you're asking me to choose which of my two children I prefer when you start asking me which of the teams I like the most. They're all my favourites.
Yeah. Well, Peter, before we wrap up, any closing words about the CPL this year? What do you want to tell the fans? I know people were very worried about tickets. Will we get to attend our favorite games? But I know you said that we should have no fear about that. So what do you want to tell the public this morning about CPL 2026?
Just it's going to be bigger and better than ever this year. We're going to have halftime shows. We're going to have amazing opportunities for people to engage in the cricket using fantastic technology that we brought on board. That's the first of its kind in the Caribbean. But more than anything else, and I say this every time I speak to the media, I just want to say thank you for the people continuing to support CPL. It honestly couldn't be more true than for me to say, if it wasn't for people buying their tickets and watching on TV, then Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the Caribbean, then the tournament wouldn't be what it is today, and it wouldn't be as successful as it's been. So thank you for your continued support. I hope for all of the Trinbago Knight Riders fans that goes as well as they hope it does for the tournament, as I do for all of the teams. And I'm very much looking forward to watching some cricket at the Queen's Park Oval, getting to spend some time with some friends and enjoying some of the great hospitality that you guys are so famous for.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. The biggest party in sport, it is on. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon, and all the best to the CPL brand. Of course, the TKR and everyone involved. We wish you a fantastic season. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. That was Peter Miller of the CPL brand. As I said, the biggest party in sport, it is all happening. Are you ready? Have you chosen your sides just yet? Have you gotten your tickets? Well, at this time, you know what to do. Just grab a cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun. Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Being connected, it means a lot because first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Every village has a story. Every tradition has a voice. This July 16th to August 1st, discover them all at the 2026 Tobago Heritage Festival. This year's theme, Let We Tell the Whole Story, invites you to experience the customs, resilience, and rich cultural legacy that continue to define Tobago. Join us for unforgettable performances, village celebrations, and authentic cultural experiences across the island. The Tobago Heritage Festival 2026. Let we tell the whole story. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for event details.
In 2021, following the search for missing court clerk Andrea Barrett, the Hunters Search and Rescue Team has become a vital volunteer organization supporting families and authorities in some of Trinidad and Tobago's most challenging search and recovery operations. Led by Captain Valence Rambarat, HSRT's motto, Closure Matters, reflects its mission to provide assistance and answers to families facing unimaginable loss. The team has been involved in several high-profile operations, including recent searches following maritime tragedies involving Venezuelan migrants off the southwestern coast of Trinidad. Well, joining us this morning, we have Captain Valence Rambarat, captain of the Hunters Search and Rescue Team, and Mr. Johnny Mirage, chairman of the executive responsible for the HSRT, to discuss the team's work, the challenges that they face, and the growing concerns surrounding maritime safety and illegal sea crossings. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, Virmala, and it's a pleasure to be here on Trinidad and Tobago Today, TTT, and a pleasant good morning to your viewership. So I just want to say this. I've been talking to you all, giving interviews on the phone, and I took a decision this time around to come in personally and be on your set and be in your company. So that you could, ask us anything about Hunters Search and Rescue Team. I've brought with me this morning Mr. Johnny Mirage. I am the face of Hunters Search and Rescue Team, but there's a whole dynamic support system that goes and that is behind us. And Mr. Johnny Mirage is the person responsible for that. And I thought, he should come on set today to explain, the type of support that we need. So that we could continue the work of Hunters Search and Rescue Team.
Well, before we begin, let's set the tone by talking a little bit about how the group was formed.
Yes, so the group was, we had looked on in February 2021 at searches being conducted for Andrea Barrett. It's a very famous story in Trinidad and Tobago. She was kidnapped and Carnival Friday. There was no Carnival that year in 2021. And so it came through on the news. And when we looked at the searches being conducted, we asked the then Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, if we could come in and join as hunters. And he agreed. And we reported to the Sangre Grande police station, 13 of us. And that is how we started. We conducted a 3-day search for her in the forest of Sangre Grande to Valencia and Heights of Aripo. And after that exercise, after her body was found, the members of the team decided they wanted to continue to volunteer their services to conduct searches for persons who are missing. Thus far, we've had 10 persons who have stayed on since that February 2021, Mr. Johnny Mirage and myself included in that 10, and we've continued on our way.
Yeah, you've all been doing tremendous work, and I can only imagine, as you said, there's a team behind you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the team before we continue?
Sure. So,
well, myself, I'm the chairman, Johnny Mirage, and we have other members. We have treasurers. We have financial persons. That makes up the team. So it's about 39 members on the team. We have 2 members in Tobago, 37 members here in Trinidad.
Wow.
And we have members throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, all right. Well, Captain, I know your team has been involved in 2 recent maritime tragedies of the Southwest Coast. So can you bring us a little bit up to date on those operations and the challenges that your team faced?
Yes, so we had 2 tragedies which unfolded in the Southwest Peninsula over a 4-day period. And the first one occurred last Wednesday when a vessel carrying 29 persons and cargo capsized, and thankfully 27 persons were able to make it ashore safely. We had 2 deaths arising out of that incident. And I think what touched everyone's heart was that one of the persons who succumbed in that incident was a 6-year-old girl, Brittany Palacio. We found her body very early, I think, on Thursday morning. And then on Saturday, another incident unfolded. A Trinidad and Tobago national was taking a cargo of copper to Venezuela, and on the morning he was leaving, 2 nationals, Venezuelan nationals, decided to board the vessel to go home, and that boat capsized, and he survived, and the Venezuelan male, he succumbed. And we still have outstanding 1 female, and her name is Nicole Landiata, and the Coast Guard and the Air Guard and all of us, we've been involved in searching for her. But it highlights the case of migrants trying to reach home.
Yes, the illegal sea crossings.
Trying to reach home, right? Yeah. And it's an 8-hour boat voyage. I mean, you don't have vessels operating on the river to get to Tocopita, so they use pirogues. And we all know that pirogues are made for fishing and not for transportation of passengers and cargo. And with our team, if I have to take a pirogue to get out on a sea search, the most I will have is 7. They're carrying 29 and 30 and 37 passengers, so it's overloaded. They don't have enough horsepower on the engine.
Life jackets.
No life jackets, and it is a problem. And so we want to say to the Venezuelan nationals who want to return home, please be careful in terms of your selection of your vessel. Make sure that you have life-saving equipment on board. And you know, Virmala, in the one in Lucero on last Wednesday, had 6 children on board, you know. Wow. When we searched the shorelines, there was everything else except a life jacket on the shores, which meant that they had no life-saving jackets. So we want to ask them to be very careful when selecting their means of transport to go home. I mean, you know, we are a humanitarian organization, so we don't get into legal and illegal. We just see it as people moving from one area to another area, and safety is our concern.
And that's also a very big part of your organization that we've been seeing, and it's empathy. So we see, you know, you show up to situations. You remember we chatted when the situation with Angelo Tobias happened in Tobago as well. Any updates on that?
No, well, I think we could safely conclude, based on what we were told by the police officers, that his body was thrown. He was murdered, and his body was thrown into the sea, into that washing machine area.
Yes, I remember you spoke about that.
Entire Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't think anyone in really could have survived being thrown into that whirlpool that was surrounded by a rocky area. It was very, very difficult.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the evolution of the group. So we spoke about 2021. It's 2026 now. How has the group actually evolved in terms of resources and people and the work that you're able to do now that you weren't able to do then?
Well, and so right now, as you can see, almost every day someone is going missing now. So it has us on our toe. Doing these searches. As far as necessary tools and stuff we need, we always need tools, gears. We have people that we have corporate sponsors. We have the community that supports us. So we have, like, for example, KFC that sponsors us meals when we go on a search. We have some supermarkets that sponsors us, whether it be water or whatever we need for on a search. So we always need stuff. We have, you know, gas when you go on a search. Your personal equipment, like whether it be your vehicle that you're using, whatever tools that we go out there with, like, you know, sometimes we need ropes, flashlights, whatever, all these different things we need. So we always in the need for something for new stuff, basically.
Yeah. And it's definitely a bigger operation now than you started in 2021, right, Captain?
Yeah, you're looking at about roughly 12, 13, 14 persons on any one mission. We have out of the 39 members, and it depends on the locality. So you find if it's north, more north members will come out. But the chairman is raising a great point. We are a volunteer organization. I would say this publicly, that our chairman is one of our major financiers of the organization. I chip in where I can as well. But in terms of the gear and equipment, we're 5 years in. You know, you have to change your boots, you have to change backpacks, you have to change flashlights, just to ensure that we when we get out here, we perform at in terms of maximum efficiency and effectiveness. And it is standard procedure in the safety industry that even if your backpack looks well, you need to change it after 3 years. And so we are always on the hunt. So I just want to appeal to, you know, those persons who are viewing the program. You know, you could always call 799-1453 or email us at Hunter Search and Rescue Team. And we are on all major social media platforms. You can drop us a message.
And you are very responsive as well. The information is on the screen. Again, the number 799-1453 if you want to contribute in any way. And the email address, it's there, huntersearchandrescueteam@gmail.com. Also, that's really, really admirable. So thank you for all your contributions. And again, volunteer organizations, it's so much to run this operation. And especially when people are in pain and then they're looking for your help. It's hard to say no. I can only imagine what a drain that is mentally and emotionally as well. Now, I know your motto is closure matters, and that's a huge part about situations like these. Even if it's not the end result that we're hoping for. You want to give closure. Now, what does that mean for you now when you're working alongside families? They're in the darkest days of their life. How do you deal with all of that?
Well, I think based on our experience thus far, when closure occurs, it is the least of the two outcomes. It's the least pain. If you don't get closure, you face an eternity of misery and pain. And I met a lady recently who her daughter has been missing for 15 years. And she says each time she steps out onto the streets and she's walking, she looks for her daughter.
Wow.
And that tells you the importance of closure. And so we say the least of the pain really is to, have your loved one deal with that agony and then have a dignified funeral for them. And then as the years roll by, the pain will ease and it will never go away. But not having closure, that means an eternity of pain and misery, and it's an eternity. It's the reality. Sorry.
When we look at a lot of these cold cases, it is so awful, and just sometimes I randomly get a wave of thought. Where's that person today? How are their parents doing? Their family members? They still miss them every single day. Waking up hoping again that they see them just crossing the road or somewhere in the supermarket. It's safe to say that if the team existed many years ago, then things would have probably been different for so many of these cases. Is there one case that stayed with you in particular that over the years? Is there a specific case that really, really has stayed with you that you think about every single day?
Yeah, there are two. One is the Angelo Tobias Plaza case. We were able, with Mr. Johnny Maraj, worked extremely hard to ensure that we got our team to Tobago, but that case was tough for us. It was extremely, we spent 8 days in Tobago, and it was very strenuous. It meant getting to bed late. We were working with the team at the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, and we had to be there every morning for briefing at 7:15 a.m. and then hit the field for the entire day, not seeing home for 8 days. That was a tough one, but there is another one. A few years ago, Janessa Murray, a 6-year-old girl, she was at her home in Erin, and she got washed away in a ravine. And we got the distress call 5 p.m. and we were there by 8 p.m. the night. And we searched the ravine into the Erin River for the entire night, searching for her. At 8:10 a.m. the next morning, we found Janessa Murray alive on the banks of the Erin River, 2.4 kilometers away from where she fell into this raging ravine. She went under 2 bridges and 1 sluice gate, and that had to be a miracle, Virmala, that we found Janessa Murray alive. I want to share something with you if we have time. When I placed the call to a member that we had Janessa in our hands, Janessa, he was at another location with her mother. And her mother told me that she was watching him as he took the call from me, knowing fully well that call that was coming in was to tell that member that we had located her body. And the call I made to him was to go quietly to her and tell her that I had her daughter alive and that I was bringing her home safely to her mom.
Remember, we saw pictures and videos of that, and that just continues to bolster the amazing work that you've been doing. And, on behalf of everyone, we really say thank you for your hard work. Now, this is a very expensive job. I'm more and more understanding that, not just financially, but emotionally. How do you recharge after a mission or a long day or something like that, and you have to go home and be a family member to your loved ones as well?
It's very difficult. I'll tell you this. After the Angelo Tobias Plaza I reached out to Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, chairman of the North Central Regional Health Authority, to put together some program for our members who are on the front line, like myself and Mr. Maraj, who would view these dead bodies and who would have to deal with the emotional trauma. We are human beings.
Yes.
And I think, you know, I'm hoping that he gets the program going for us, because as the leader, I cannot assume that my members are unaffected. I thought prior to the Angelo issue that we all had the fortitude to deal with it. But having spent 8 days in Tobago, I recognized that we needed to treat with it medically.
Yes.
And from a medical perspective, and just not go with my assumption or Johnny Maraj telling me, Captain, I could cope with it. I'm strong mentally.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we have something planned to deal with it, because I think people have to begin to talk and really discuss and see how they feel about it. The team knows that I may spot a body, but I don't go close. And the reason for that is simply because I cannot deal with it. So I always, if I smell something, I'll call up the guys and say, listen. It happened recently in Monrepo in where we found, you remember the story where a dog brought a load, and we were searching for the body. I got a faint smell, and I called the others and I said, listen, come. This is it. Smell something. We need to check the area. And I stood up there, and then within 30 seconds, I says, Captain, look at here. I didn't even look at the body.
Wow.
Or the skull or anything. So that's how I deal with it. So I know I suffer from it. So I think others, we need to get into their heads and ensure that all is well.
Yeah, I remember we had this conversation when you were in Tobago, when you joined us, and I asked you, I said, how are you dealing with this without any sort of counseling or any sort of therapy? And, you know, hopefully, and we know that the team will get the help that it needs to continue doing a good job. Now, I know that you work closely with the TTPS and the Coast Guard and other emergency services. So that's a very important partnership, to have that well-oiled machine and all those resources to continue. And they do trust and rely on you as well. Yeah.
Correct,
so,
yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. You know, just working closely with the protective services.
I mean, all of us bring different skill sets to the table. So, the hunter search and rescue, I mean, they specialize in the field in hunting, searching in forests, where the TTPS may have more advanced technology that they use. So by us combining efforts together, bringing our skill sets together, I think that helps us to be able to help locate family more quicker.
Yeah. Well, you know, and also when you're going into the forested areas and all of that, that is tremendous skill, but you are all hunters.
Yeah, and I think the transfer of the hunting skills to search skills, that is what we try to achieve, and I think we've done so effectively. And the fact that we aren't afraid in that environment. In fact, we're very comfortable in that environment, and we're not afraid of snakes. I don't know, Virmala, we run. You know, sometimes people know us for missing persons, but we do wildlife rescues as well.
That.
And then we do outreach programs.
Yeah.
And I want to say thanks to Mr. Johnny Maraj, because it is him who piloted the idea that we should get out in the schools, because if you have a problem with missing persons, we do not want to be constantly looking for them. We have to be proactive and say, listen, we have to reduce the numbers.
Yes.
Right? The numbers we've seen for Trinidad and Tobago is very high. So, and Mr. Maraj came up with the concept with us getting out to schools and youth groups, and we've been doing that. So we've been stretched to the limit, but we're still coping, and we're meeting all our engagements, and we're responding to all the families.
Yeah, the numbers are on the screen right now. Once again, that's 799-1453. If you want to contribute in any way, there's also an email address there for you. Well, gentlemen, before we close, after 5 years of service under the motto, Closure Matters, what message now would you like to leave with the people of Trinidad and Tobago, or with the families still searching for their loved ones, and also the people that are looking on and continue to support you?
But there are various categories of missing persons. We're seeing a reduction in the runaway teenage females, which probably account for 38%. So I want to urge our juvenile females, Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes the environment outside is not one that you want to leave the comfort of your home to get out there. It's sometimes not a nice place, and we have, people are not always kind, and you have to face that reality. Virmala, we're seeing an increase in the elderly persons, and we ask people to please take care of your elderly folks. We're finding them all over the place. And then with respect to the 18 to 50 age category, most of the bodies we find are victims of crime. So we're asking persons to, make yourself hard targets, be careful. Out there are predators, there are persons who want your property. And the normal safety guidelines, share your information, if share your location with persons, and you should be able to be safe. But the general message really is that we live in a time where safety is important. And we cannot just go through our lives vacuum pretending that safety is not important. Please pay attention and keep safe.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. Definitely a great conversation. If you want to check this out a little later on, head across to TTT Live online and at TNT Today Show. We take a quick break, and when we come back, the show continues. Thank you.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on,
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network, and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel, and I never regretted it.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Band Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
The Mother Church of the Anglican Diocese suffered significant damage during the earthquake of 2018. Efforts are underway to raise funds to restore this national heritage site. You are invited to make your donations with monthly deposits at any branch of the First Citizens Bank, account number 2696950, Marval Road Branch, in the name of the Incorporated Trustees of the Anglican Holy Trinity Cathedral Restoration.
August marks the Pan Month in Trinidad and Tobago, a time dedicated to celebrating one of our greatest gifts to the world, the steel pan, through music and culture and community, of course. The month-long celebration officially begins on Sunday, August 2nd, with a steel pan musical love affair. Well, joining us now to tell us more, it's no stranger to the show, Pan Trinbago PRO, Kwesi Moore. Good morning.
Good morning, Virmala, to you and the entire TTT family.
You look
as
lovely.
Usual. Oh, God, thanks very much. I didn't come out for the occasion for what we're speaking about. And it comes a little different from our usual polo and things like that.
You have to leave your TTT office at the back to come in.
From your lips to God.
Yeah, he is such a staple here on the show. Well, Kwesi, the official launch of Pan Month is taking place this Saturday. Tell us a little bit now about a steel pan musical love affair. What can patrons expect?
Sure. So it's actually launching on Sunday as opposed to Saturday. And we've rebranded the entire month of activities and festivities to August Fest. So Pan Trinbago usually has a lot going on for August and that's why we call it Pan Month, celebration of our national musical instrument. I believe last year we would have launched with a one-year commemoration of the steel pan officially being proclaimed as the national musical instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. A very small, intimate corporate evening, I would say. And this year we're doing things a little bit differently on a grander scale. We are having a steel pan musical love affair on Sunday, the 2nd of August 2026 at the Radisson. It's a black tie event. It is, well, I would jump one time on the gun and say it's a $1,000 ticket. All right. Of course, premium drinks, premium food for the entire night, dancing on your feet, fun entertainment. It's going to be a lovely, lovely evening. And this is how we kick off August Fest Pan Month in 2026.
And why choose this type of event to kick off Pan Month?
We're just trying things differently this time. And most importantly, it is a fundraiser. It's being put on by the youth arm of Pan Trinbago. All right, of course, spearheaded by our education officer, Mrs. Candice Andrews-Brumont. And what is intended here, because yes, $1,000 may sound a bit steep, but it really is to support all our youth-based initiatives and events. Just recently, we would have concluded Steel Pan Fusion Fest, right, where we went around to different pan yards throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, listening to the youth orchestras put on a 15-minute performance, and we brought a lot of crowds to them, and it was very entertaining and engaging because young persons in the steel pan fraternity don't get much opportunities outside of Junior Panorama to showcase themselves. So that was one initiative that we did. And as we get further into Pan Month, I could reveal right now that on World Steel Pan Day, which we celebrate on August 11th for the third or fourth year, about third year, it will be prominently the youth steel orchestras taking over Port of Spain. All right, but we'll get into those things, of course, later on. I know we have a lot to talk about, but this is how we launch this entire month of festivities with a steel pan musical love affair at the Radisson black tie event.
Yeah. Now, the steel pan is now a global instrument. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of Pan Month, really reinforcing TNT's role as the birthplace and the home of pan.
That's it. I mean, I think you put it quite succinctly well. We always need to remind persons that we are the birthplace of the instrument. You see it spawning all over the world, Japan, in North America, in South America, whatever the case may be, and people starting to run with the perception that, maybe pan did not originate here for whatever case. You see pan manufacturing taking place all over, but in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a great industry. We have the best bands, the best players, we boast of it all the time. And it's really important that Pan Month is a reminder for that, but more importantly, it's a celebration of our culture and our heritage. So, for example, Black Tie event is a $1,000 event, sure, but throughout the entire August Fest for Pan Month, we do have events that are free as gifts to the nation, to the public. You have the Pan and Powder that is taking place on August 19th, for example. Our Eastern region is putting on an event on the 7th, First Friday is Lime, a small event for $50, a $50 contribution. So there's something in it for everyone in August Fest. And of course, our theme for August Fest Pan Month this year is Rhythm and Rise. But most importantly, I think, are the key words under that, which are youth, discipline, culture, and community, which are things that we believe are the bedrock of our national instrument and the future of our national instrument.
Yeah, so let's talk about tickets now for this coming Sunday.
Certainly. So tickets are, again, $1,000 black tie event. They're available, of course, at Pan Trinbago's head office in Port of Spain at 55 Don Donner Street. Alternatively, you can purchase it. You can purchase your tickets online via the Pan Trinbago website. You can visit us at www.pantrinbago.co.tt. And as well, as I mentioned, it is a fundraiser for the youth in Pan, but we have an ongoing fundraiser that you can check out on our same website, a Fund Me TNT campaign to help raise funds for August Fest initiatives overall, because we are trying to change that narrative of dependency on the state, and we are trying to become or continue the effort to become self-sufficient. So this is just one of those initiatives to get us there.
All right. And what are you looking forward to most about this event?
Well, I had a drink out my $1,000. Because if it's one thing person needs to know,
you did not say that.
Yeah. We all, every member of the executive, even though it's our event, we all purchased our tickets for ourselves a few months ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the president is very clear that no complimentaries. It is a fundraiser for the youth, and if it is, we value that as much as we say we do. We'll put our money where our mouth is. So I have to, of course, eat out that money and drink it out. But I'm looking forward to finding a nice dancing partner on the night.
Yeah.
And
Look at that.
You're coming on.
My availability has been confirmed. So I know that you said we'll talk a little bit about it later on, but just before we wrap up, give us a little teaser of the things that we can look forward to during Pan Month.
Sure.
What's on the calendar?
Sure. So, of course, Pan Trinbago would do our main events, World Seed Pan Day, things like that. But we do have our regional events that are taking place. Of course, we support our northern region, our south central region, Eastern and Tobago. So, for example, as I mentioned before, the Eastern region is having its first Friday Pan Lime on the 7th of August, I believe it is. That is where the contribution of $50 would be accepted. That is taking place at Arima Angel Harps Pan Yard in Arima, featuring Arima Angel Harps, Simple Song, and some other bands. Our northern region is having their 1, 2, 3 plus extravaganza taking place on the 15th of August, if I'm not mistaken. $200 advance tickets, $250 at the door. That's featuring the top 3 bands in the north in the different categories. So it will feature the likes of BP Renegades. You have Court Sound Specialists of Lavantil, Defense Force Steel Orchestra, Shell Invaders. A very wonderful cast. Our South Central region is having their Echoes of Steel. This is their second edition of Echoes of Steel, taking place at Naparima Bowl on Sunday the 9th of August.
That's a lot of activities.
No. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because I haven't gotten into Pan Passion, which is where Pan Trinbago would have our church service, our annual church service.
And I know you'll be back to tell us more about that.
Blessing
Don't
of the
let
flags,
the cat out of the bag totally.
Sure. These are just highlight events, and of course, people can look forward to our usual Pan and Powder.
All right. Well,
on the 19th
Kwesi.
of August.
All right. Well, Kwesi will be back to talk all about that. This is where we shut it down for hour number 1 of Trinidad and Tobago Today. We'll see you inside the second hour, where we have so much more in store for you.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house limes. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. The nationwide search is on for Trinidad and Tobago's next Miss World representative, with 20 delegates emerging as finalists just 1 month after the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago franchise launched its campaign to find an outstanding young woman to represent the country on the international stage. Each finalist is eager to embrace the platform, advocate for meaningful causes, and showcase the culture, talent, and spirit of Trinidad and Tobago at the next Miss World pageant. National Director of Miss World Trinidad and Tobago, Charu Lochan Das, believes this year's group of contestants may be the strongest the competition has seen to date.
In 2 weeks, they've already transformed, so we're looking forward to see what the 3-month program brings to them and to us, and we wait to see who the winner will be, who will emerge the winner. But whoever it is, we have a good feeling this year that the representation of Trinidad and Tobago will be in great hands.
Among the delegates is Isabella Thomas, representing Port of Spain. Currently pursuing legal studies, Ms. Thomas said the opportunity to represent Trinidad and Tobago on the global stage would be both an honor and a dream come true.
It would really feel great to me. Representing Trinidad and Tobago is something that's very near to my heart. It's something that I do in my day-to-day life. I'm just very passionate about representing Trinidad and Tobago, keeping us on a global platform, pushing Trinidad and Tobago global.
As preparations intensify ahead of the competition, the spotlight remains firmly on these 20 ambitious young women, each determined to make her mark and earn the chance to proudly represent TNT at the next Miss World pageant. In other news, an immediate investigation has been ordered by Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara into the circulation of an audio recording on social media that is alleged to contain intercepted communications, citing serious concerns about national security and the potential implications of the leak. In a media release on Monday, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said Assistant Commissioner of Police Andy Tiwari will lead the investigation to determine the authenticity of the recording, whether it involves communications lawfully intercepted under the Interception of Communications Act, and how it may have entered the public domain. The TTPS reminded the public that the Act forbids unauthorized disclosure of intercepted communications. It added that the probe would also examine whether any person unlawfully disclosed protected information and whether there were breaches of operational security, data handling protocols, or statutory obligations. Commissioner Guevara assured the public that this matter is being treated with the highest level of urgency and confidentiality. In more news, expected to appear in court today, Tuesday, is a 33-year-old Tobago man who has been charged with the manslaughter of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi, who died following a jet ski collision at Pigeon Point Marine Park earlier this year. The charge stems from an incident on April 8th when Angelica and several members of her family were struck by a jet ski while in an area designated for bathing. She later died at hospital. In a media release, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard advised investigators to charge the 33-year-old Canaan jet ski operator with manslaughter. Police said the suspect was re-arrested on Monday in connection with the matter and is expected to appear before the High Court on Tuesday. In some sport, the iconic Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain is back into the cricket limelight, with the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League set to host all of Trinbago Knight Riders group stage matches at the Tragrete Road venue. TKR will play their Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League 2026 group stage fixtures at the Oval in Port of Spain. The franchise's full home schedule runs from 26 August to 2nd September, with matches against St. Lucia Kings, Barbados Tridents, Jamaica Kingsmen, Guyana Amazon Warriors, and Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. According to a release from CPL Media, the confirmation also brings an update to 2 of those fixtures. When the schedule was first announced, Trinbago Knight Riders were due to face Guyana Amazon Warriors on Saturday 29th August and Jamaica Kingsmen on Monday 31st August. Those opponents have since been swapped, with Jamaica Kingsmen now playing at Queen's Park Oval on Saturday 29th August and Guyana Amazon Warriors on Monday 31st. All other fixture details, including dates, start times, and venue, remain unchanged. And that's what's making the news at this time. When we come back after the break, Virmala's in with now our number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digicel is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel. And I never regretted it.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
Let's get this party started right.
Hi, I'm Penny Gomez, and welcome to Pop. Hey, Ziggy Rankin, welcome to Pop.
Better late than never.
You know what kind of show you sign up for when you come here, right?
Anything can happen, you know, so we on Pop.
Man, not to live, you know, so hey.
You was no Rasta, man.
Never.
Paprika.
Yes, Paprika.
That's not damn sign of Nicholas supposed to know him because he was...
Who Nicholas? Nicholas as in our song guy?
I will call my punch man great.
Condensed milk to the rescue is what I will see. Last one here, bring it home.
When Penny on the road, what's it name? Love how she whining, the way how she carries every load. We love how she whining, and the way you move, and the way you move. Penny girl, you put the man them digging at the mood, and the mother and the young make you look so rude. Love how you whining.
Oh, gentlemen, oh.
The 60th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Malik Lewis from San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix of the NBL.
For many young athletes, the dream of playing in the NBA feels almost impossible. But this morning, we're celebrating a young man who has shown that talent and patience and perseverance can really take you from Trinidad and Tobago to basketball's biggest stage. At just 21 years old, Malik Lewis has made history as only the third Trinidad and Tobago-born player to be drafted into the NBA. And after years of development in Spain, the NBA, G League, and the Australia's National Basketball League, his name was called in the 60th and final pick of the 2026 NBA draft before his draft rights were immediately acquired by the Milwaukee Bucks. And his story isn't just about basketball, you know. It's about believing in yourself and trusting the process and really proving that talent from TNT belongs on the world's biggest stage. And Malik, congratulations and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So every athlete dreams of hearing their name called on draft night. Can you walk us back to that exact moment and who was with you? What was going through your mind? How did you feel?
Yeah, I think my agents called me with like 5 more picks left in the draft, and my girlfriend was sitting down next to me, and that was probably like the longest 10 minutes of my life. They kept going on breaks and everything, and I'm just sitting there nervous, just waiting to see, you know, if it will actually happen. And yeah, hearing my name call, it was, I can't really put it into words, you know, knowing that I've worked so long and so hard for this, and a lot of people pour their own life and time and effort into making this happen. So it was a big sigh of relief, and just a special moment in general.
You know, a lot of people see the celebration, but they don't always see the years of work behind it. So I know you left Trinidad at 15 to playing in Spain. You also the G League and Australia. What was some of the biggest sacrifices that you had to make throughout this journey?
Yeah, I feel like just leaving that young, not being able to grow up with your family. You know, my little brothers on them, they're older now.
Wow.
Not being able to see them grow and having younger cousins and stuff. I guess it's just basically, you know, not being with your family. Going into a new country with a different language, not knowing if it would be a success or a failure, just taking that risk. But I feel the biggest thing for me was just leaving family behind.
What made you take that risk?
Believing in myself.
Yeah, and how did your family feel about you leaving?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think my mom, she was open to it.
Oh.
Yeah, she would always say that's how.
That's unusual for a Trini mom to not be so attached.
Yeah, it was my mom and grandfather. They were basically like, if that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, just go out there and make the country and make our family proud.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would always say that her womb is blessed. So
Yeah.
I guess that's these things that she said.
Sounds like a Trini mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's remarkable is that you didn't even start playing basketball until your early teens. And I know that you were encouraged by a teacher. So looking back now, how did that one interaction or that one relationship with that teacher really change the course of your life?
It actually changed my life a lot. He basically, you know, put me under his wing and brought me up through basketball, made me love the game.
Why basketball? He saw potential in you.
I guess so. I used to play football before, so I think in Form 3.
How was that switch from football to basketball?
It wasn't that difficult. You know, football didn't work out for the best.
It didn't?
Yeah, it was. I was good, but it's not as good as I am in basketball. Yeah. But yeah, he played a big role in my life, and I could only, you know, show my appreciation and say thank you.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, one conversation, one relationship, it'll change everything for the rest of your life. And you've also entered the NBA draft before and made the difficult decision to withdraw not once but twice. So many young athletes might have rushed that process, but what gave you the confidence to really trust that waiting was the right move for you at that time?
Yeah, at that point, the first year was just like testing the waters and seeing how the process is. Going back the second year, just think I wasn't ready. And in the third time, I felt like, you know, I was more mature, I was better at the game, and it was my time.
Yeah. Now, you've also said that the Australian NBL helped to prepare you for the NBA because of its physical style of play. So what specifically did that league teach you that you don't think you would have learned anywhere else?
I just think it's playing against grown men, playing against guys that they have families and they have to take care of their families, that they're not looking at you as a young guy and taking it easy on you. So going into the NBA, everybody calls it a man's league. So I feel like, you know, you wouldn't get that anywhere else than a professional league.
Yeah. And I know the Milwaukee Bucks actually traded back into the draft to get you. Now that tells us that they really, really wanted you. Now, what conversations have you had with that organization so far, and what excites you most about joining that franchise?
I mean, I feel like it just gives me the ultimate confidence to be myself. After being there for a couple of weeks, all the coaches, the staff, everyone there, you know, they gave me a warm welcome. And yeah, just go out there, be myself, and develop into that NBA caliber player that the team and I know I can be.
Now, I heard you have a nickname because of your style of play and physical similarities. Tell us about that, how you feel about that nickname, and tell everybody what that nickname is.
Yeah, I feel like it can't be a coincidence that, you know, being drafted by the Bucks and everybody tell me that I just look like Giannis.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't see it, but it's been, I think, since I was younger. I was pretty skinny when I was small.
Right.
Still, you know. But
do you enjoy having that nickname, or do you want to, you know, just carve out your own space and you don't want to live in anyone else's shadow? I mean, but that's a pretty good shadow to live in for a bit.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Not a lot of people call me that.
Okay.
Most of the time is off of like first impressions that, you know, somebody was seeing me for the first time. I'm like, oh, you look like Giannis. But people that know me, that's called Malik or just Malik.
Yeah. And also you're the third Trinidad and Tobago born player to make it to the NBA. That is huge. Now, does that add any pressure, or do you see it more as an opportunity to really, grow and inspire the next generation?
That was one of the biggest things for me going into the draft. I really stressed on being drafted, like having that moment I hear my name call, because I feel like kids back here or anyone in the Caribbean, not specifically in Trinidad and Tobago, would see that and be inspired. Seeing someone that done it, someone that grew up here, and not just,
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like having that moment, it would inspire a lot of kids throughout the whole Caribbean to push forward, and a lot of parents to take risks and allowing their kids to play and develop in the game.
You've traveled the world, but TNT is where your journey began. Tell me, in what ways has growing up here really helped you and shaped you for the man and the player that you've become?
Yeah, I guess I feel like it's growing up amongst my family. I feel like everyone in my family just call me the son. So just having that family mentality and knowing how to speak to someone, you never know who you're gonna meet outside or just who's up in the gym. So just being a good person in general, being a welcoming person and someone that you could talk to very easily, and a competitor. So I feel like everyone in Trinidad has that competitive mentality, and I feel like that is what helped me being in this moment right now.
Well, as you prepare for the season now, what are some of the biggest goals you've set for yourself, and what does success look like for Malik at the end of your first year at the NBA?
This year would just be to get better at the game, develop in all ways, not just on the court, but off the court too, developing better habits, being more disciplined, getting a routine and sticking to it, and just, finishing out the season healthy.
And what would you say to any young person looking on right now who feels inspired by your journey?
Not because the dream is not arms length away or in your sight at this moment means that it's out of reach. Just be patient, be disciplined, and everything will work out for the best.
All right, Malik, well, thank you so much, and congratulations once again. And your story really reminds us that dreams don't have an expiry date, they don't have a postcode either. So hopefully, all the young people looking on this morning, you feel inspired by Malik's journey. Malik, we wish you all the best and continue making Trinidad and Tobago proud.
Thank you so much.
All right. That's Malik joining us, talking all about his journey in the NBA. The time now, it is 7:18. For all the stories that you see here and more, head across to TTT Live online and at TNT Today's Show. Our social media channels are all live, and we have content for you all day long. If you want to be part of the show, all you have to do is send us an email at tttoday@ttt.co.tt, and you can be a part of the conversation that's shaping our nation. We take a break.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives, one property at a time.
Let's get this party started right.
Hi, I'm Penny Gomez, and welcome to Pop. Hey, Ziggy Rankin, welcome to Pop.
Better late than never.
You know what kind of show you sign up for when you come here, right?
Anything can happen, you know, so we on Pop.
Man, not to live, you know, so hey.
You was no Rasta, man.
Never.
Paprika.
Yes, Paprika.
That's not dancer, you know. Nicholas supposed to know him because you
Who Nicholas? Nicholas as in our song guy?
I will call my punch man great.
Condensed milk to the rescue is what I will see. Last one here, bring it home.
When Penny on the road, what it name? Love how she whining, the way how she carries every load. We love how she whining, and the way you move, and the way you move. Penny girl, you put the man them digging at the mood, and the mother and the young make you look so rude. Love how you whining.
Oh, gentlemen, oh.
Came out from underground, and met 3 new friends. What will he discover today? Let's shout his name to the world. Came out from underground, and met 3 new friends. Ride off in car and fly up high. Let's have a fun time. La 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 la, la 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 la
Well, some of our richest stories don't come from history books. They come from the villages that raised us, the characters that we grew up with, and the traditions that have quietly shaped who we are. And our next guest has spent more than 3 decades shaping young minds as an educator. And now she's preserving those memories in a very different way. And her debut book, it's called Santa Rita, Echoes from the Village and Beyond, a collection of stories inspired by the people and the places and experiences that really define village life in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. Well, this morning, author Arlene Dwarka joins us to talk all about her journey into fiction, the importance of preserving Caribbean stories, and why our everyday experiences deserve a place in literature. Arlene, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So after spending more than 30 years in education, what has inspired you now to really take the leap into fiction and finally write Santa Rita?
It has always been in my heart and in my soul. And it was like something that was bursting to emerge. And it was during the pandemic that we all stopped. We reflected. We had losses. We were grieving. And we had time. And this gave me the opportunity to sit down, think of my past, reconnect, delve into my childhood, and go into places that I wanted to for a very long time in order to bridge that gap in my life. And this is what inspired me to sit down and start to write. Now, I had written nonfiction before, and this is my debut fiction piece. And I said, you know what? Let me just take the leap, do what I have to do, and do what's pressing on my soul and get it out there.
And what is Santa Rita? Now, that title is very interesting indeed. Is it based on a real place, or does it represent something much bigger?
Santa Rita is a pseudonym. It's a fictional name. And I wanted to give it a fictional name because even though the stories are set in the rich backdrop of the east of Trinidad, and the name is not exclusive to you or me, I wanted a universal meaning. So we called it Santa Rita. Actually, my husband came up with that name. He said, let's give it a universal name. In that way, you can identify with it. Everyone can identify with it. It's what you imagine, and everything that you want it to be. It's your place, it's my place, and it's not confined to one space.
Now, your stories are filled with familiar characters. And you have the gossipers, the village elders, the colorful personalities that we all seem to know. Were these inspired by real people that you've encountered over the years?
Oh, well, an author doesn't always give away those secrets, but growing up as a child in a small village, you encounter many different characters. And as a child, you try to rationalize and make meaning out of it. And yes, there were the village Marcos, there were the medicine woman that you did not totally understand, and there, every aspect of the village drunk that was represented, everything that was there. And you were trying to grapple with all these characters and make meaning of who they were from a child's perspective. And it intrigued me to discover who they were, not only as a child, but now that I look back and reflect as an adult, to come to terms with their purpose in the village, who they were, what their dilemmas were, and how they added to the meaning of village life, and how they contributed to society and the culture in itself. And being an adult, now that I reflected, it gave me the opportunity to do that and look back at village characters from a totally different perspective.
Yeah, books like these will make the young generation also yearn for something that they never even knew about, and it's obviously through these colorful pages. So as an educator, you've spent years encouraging children to read as well. How important is it now for young people to see these stories, but they're reflected in our own culture and our language and our experiences?
This is so very important because our children now at school, they are delving into foreign material a lot, and our indigenous material is being lost somewhat. A lot of authors are writing. I'm part of a writers group, and there's lots of material that's coming out. We have the eclectic traditional ones that stay inside of the school's curriculum, but there are many new budding authors who have stories to tell, whose stories mirror what our predecessors did. And every new generation, I think, has a responsibility, authors, anyone who wants to write a story, to tell about Caribbean life based on their perspective, so that the next generation can understand it from a different level, what they've gone through. For example, I've written from the 60s, 70s, and 80s from my perspective. And I'm hoping that my students would take it up from there when they write about the 90s and the 2000s.
Now, Caribbean literature is often celebrated internationally, but many people still don't make the time to read our local authors. You agree with me? Why do you think it's important, that we support and celebrate our own storytellers right here in Trinidad and Tobago, rather than them having to go outside and get that recognition that they need?
Because we have a very rich culture, and it's always not understood, or it's taken for granted. We don't appreciate what we have first as a people. But I always tell everyone that I come across, the more you travel, the more you want to be at home. Why? Because of our rich cultural heritage. We have everything from our folklore, and that's now being reinstated by Richard Ramirez and people like that. Our historical landmarks are underscored. And in my collection of short stories, I brought to life some of those historic landmarks, some of the folklore that is being lost and the mystery associated with it. We have to bring back to life. And I think this is so very important. We have mystery, we have amusement, we have intriguing and eclectic characters, and we need to immerse ourselves in them to reignite that passion for what belongs to us.
Now, was there one story in the collection that was especially emotional or meaningful for you to write?
They're all very special, and I can't choose one, but I think Christmas in the Village is, because it's happy. I mean, my stories are multi-genre. but it's the last story in the collection, and it's a happy time. It's a time for me that's autobiographical because I delve into myself and my family and the village life and community, and it tells a story of what we did traditionally in the village. You know, there was the goat that had to be taken care of from January, and then the whole village would come together in order to feast on the meat and all the parts of the goat, and then how you're going to catch the goat in order to, you know, serve it. And the perspective of a child looking at this with fear and stepping back now with pride, and all of the things we did in order to make Christmas special. I think that one stays with me the most, and maybe because I ended with it, and in a multi-genre collection of short stories, when you end in a happy way, it resonates with you.
And what's next for Arlene Dwarka?
What's next for Arlene Dwarka immediately would be some more non-fiction, which would be academic material. But certainly, I do have in the pipeline a piece that I wrote about teenagers and their struggles from a feminine point of view. And I would like to push that forward. Then there's always poetry, which is my second passion. And there's a little secret coming with some mystery stories that delve into our culture and our folklore, and would promote Trinidad and Tobago as being a place that has its own indigenous mystery characters, and you know, you want to be intrigued and inspired by them. Our own Harry Potter, so to speak. So that's coming.
Well, thank you very, very much, Arlene, for joining us this morning. And your book reminds us that our greatest stories don't always happen in famous places. They happen in the villages, on the streets, and in the everyday moments that shape our lives and our identity. Congratulations again, and we'll talk to you soon. 7:32, that's the time with the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We hope that you're having a wonderful morning. We take a quick break, and when we come back, a very special treat for you.
Every village has a story. Every tradition has a voice. This July 16th to August 1st, discover them all at the 2026 Tobago Heritage Festival. This year's theme, Let We Tell the Whole Story, invites you to experience the customs, resilience, and rich cultural legacy that continue to define Tobago. Join us for unforgettable performances, village celebrations, and authentic cultural experiences across the island. The Tobago Heritage Festival 2026. Let we tell the whole story. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for event details.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel, and I never regretted it.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease.
So a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Association that you want us to do calypso and soca in this year's celebration. Well, pause, check the fine print, read the clause. Because anytime these carnivores in your carnival, it is a bacchanal. 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 Eyes up a tongue, use up a tongue. Stat, that, fat, come to run down. Heel, or sit down. Better than we pedigree, now you're dead wrong. White, black, tan, spotted or dark brown. Every breed indeed is just a mix up and mixed down. Bacchanal. Bacchanal.
Seeing Patons performing definitely wasn't on my my cards for this year, but hey, here we are. Whether it's on television, in the classroom, or on stage, puppets have a unique way of capturing our imagination, don't you agree? But behind every puppet is an artist, a storyteller, and a creative, really bringing characters to life through skill, creativity, and heart. And our guest has spent years building memorable characters and entertaining audiences through animation, puppetry, and multimedia storytelling. Now through his latest initiative, Puppet Pavilion, he's inviting children to step behind the curtain and discover the magic for themselves. Well, joining us this morning, we have multimedia artist, puppeteer, and founder of the Rambunctious Productions, Roland Remy Rambunctious Yearwood. Remy, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And who's this?
It is a bacchanal.
And who are you? Good
It has
morning.
come to my attention here at the Potong Association that you wanted us here on your program.
Yes.
Well, all right. You've asked my name, and my name is Midnight.
Midnight, you seem like a lot of trouble, so can I ask you to behave during this interview?
I'm not trouble.
Yeah, you look like you're trouble.
I'm quite well behaved. I merely speak my mind.
And I know you brought some of your friends, and I want to meet them a little later on.
Certainly.
Because I feel like you'll get on my nerves really quickly.
Nah, we'll be good. We'll get along swimmingly.
And you're a big artist as well, Midnight. I see you have your own song. It's called Bacchanal.
Bacchanal. We have a few pieces actually, but that's been our big contender.
Well, Remy, tell me a little bit about the Potong Association before we get into Puppet Pavilion.
Certainly. Well, the Potong Association kind of came about as a result of just some of the things dancing in my head.
Yeah.
And I started to do some short skits on social media, that kind of thing. And from that, I caught the attention of some of the outreach programs like with TTSPCA, AWN, El Socorro Wildlife Center. And we partnered to bring a little more awareness, of course, to sometimes some of the treatment.
Yeah.
Our, mongrel friends, our Potong friends don't often benefit from the best of treatment. And, we were able to highlight that through the humor, through the comedy, but generally, we just bring a lot of more awareness. And I'm happy that I was able to do that with them, and we continue to partner with them.
You've had a successful career, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
Throughout the years with all of your previous projects and all of that. And now you're here with Puppet Pavilion. So what exactly is that?
Puppet Pavilion, right? So we took the opportunity now to take the craft to another level, right? Because many times you see me in front of the screen with the character, and now we're kind of passing it on to the next generation. The puppetry in itself is a age-old, ancient craft. And with the pavilion, we're now teaching them the aspects of it in terms of
the building of the puppets, the creation of the idea, the presentation, the performance. So when you come to the Puppet Pavilion at the Elevated Art Creative Hub, you're going to be getting all aspects of this craft from start to finish, and in the end, you're going to be making your very own professional puppet. Now, I want to make the point that these are professional puppets, right? This is not just art and craft. This is with an eye to, you know, when time comes, you could go out and perform your guys and your characters, you know, for professional audiences, make your own program. So the nitty-gritty we're getting into, specialized, yeah.
So this is Midnight, as we said before. And Midnight brought some other friends here. Midnight, would you like to introduce me to some of your other friends?
Certainly. Who we got here? We have Anaki, who's another member of the association.
Right.
We have Dana, and then we brought some of the sample puppets.
Really?
Right? What are puppets?
Will we get to meet them, Midnight? Would you?
I'm a puppet.
Would you allow them to meet me?
Oh, certainly.
Or are you a jealous puppet?
No. Love is a word. We're all about love.
We're seeing some on the screen right now.
Definitely.
Who are these?
That is one of the characters that they will be building, because we're going to give them a general template.
So cute.
From which to work from.
Okay, so this is an easier
Yes,
puppet.
this is an easier puppet to start. This is your starter puppet, so to speak. So they will be getting these characters to start with, and then from there, they will get the opportunity to, hold on one second.
So a little bit of surgery on this puppet.
Small, because what it is, as you realize that he's a blank guy. And if you watch on the screen, we will put in eyes, etc., ears, right?
So it's customizable.
Customizable, right? So we have two versions of him, right? So we have him, and we have his great friend, right? So the starting point is going to be these guys.
Okay.
And from there, we give them the opportunity to create whatever they want, right? Whether it be a folklore character, a mask character, whatever lives in your imagination. And so that is part of what the mandate is too. So while I'm saying it's a professional grade puppet, right, and a workshop of that nature, the key still is the learning, right? So it's in there, make your mistakes, experiment, because that is where, you know, the development, the cognitive skills, you know, the extra self-expression comes about. You know?
Now, you didn't just wake up one day wanting to make puppets. Where did your love for puppetry begin?
Right. So, I mean, my story is, I guess, one of those that a lot of people in the arts could identify with, in that I'd first seen like Jim Henson and the Muppets, Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I was mesmerized by those characters, you know, how he take the felt, the cloth, the fleece, bring it to life. And then locally, right here on TTT, there was Uncle Ian Ali. We used to have Ricky Tiki.
Yeah.
And a character called Papi Peer, right? So then that also gave me the awareness, wait, it could happen here in our context, you know? And so that is also part of it, the fact that we could show people all the different possibilities within arts and entertainment. And puppetry is one that, you know, I love. And so things came full circle.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking the opportunity to
and
share
I
them.
love the fact that you're still repping the culture through the puppets.
Certainly.
The Caribbean voices the children get to see. You know, because when you look at other shows, let's just say Sesame Street and all of that, international shows, you hear the language is different and the culture is different. But then here you have a Trini puppet, and not just a puppet, but a member of the Pothound Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Anaki.
This is Anaki.
Yeah.
Anaki, I like your, I'm not too sure if those are your eyebrows or your eyelashes.
These are my eyebrows.
Okay.
Are those your eyebrows?
Yes, those are my eyebrows.
I not on all this TV thing with them. I don't know why they didn't bring me out here. You really should be talking at midnight. I know all this.
Well, you look like you're a little grumpy this morning. Have you had your coffee?
Coffee, I didn't drink them thing. I just drink water good for me. A little hot water by the standpipe, and I good to go.
So, Anaki, you're going to be teaching children how to make their own puppet, and give us all the details about Puppet Pavilion.
Well, I won't be teaching. I'll be coming for a lime, and I have no idea what a puppet is.
You look like you like to lime a lot.
This guy might not have was a puppet. Yeah, I'll take it from here. So basically, we'll be teaching them, you know, the inner workings of puppetry from, as I say, the design process, the first imagining your concept, then to design, to the actual execution of the puppet, and then the performance. We have a performance element as well. So on the last day, they will be improvising a script and performing alongside each other. So there's a Puppet Pavilion.
Right.
And I'm really excited about it because I would have to say that, you know, there's one aspect of performing as yourself and creating your own stuff, but then passing it on, right? It's a different kind of joyous gift.
Building a legacy.
Knowing that you're empowering them.
So how can we sign up?
Right, so you can sign up at Puppet Pavilion That is the Puppet Pavilion is the website, but online you have the online portal. You could go to our social media platform. That's Puppet Pavilion. And then you will see the contact link there. Is also available on Facebook. And we have a contact number. Forgive me, I can't remember.
On the screen, it's 283
oh gosh, I love that.
4667.
Well, I love it.
puppetpavilion@gmail.com. I have you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry. Anarchy, I have you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, Remy and Midnight. You've been a great sport. Thank you for being here. I'll see you at Puppet Pavilion.
Thank you so much.
What do you want to tell your fans this morning?
I just want to say, come through to the Puppet Pavilion. And remember, it's always, it is a bacchanal.
Well, thank you for the performance as well of Bacchanal this morning. Remy, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
And thanks to our special guests as well for being here. And what you're creating really goes far beyond puppets. It's really giving young people, the opportunity to imagine, create, and perform and tell their own stories.
Correct.
The time now, 15 minutes before 8 o'clock on Trinidad and Tobago today. We take a break, and when we come back, we'll get ready to wrap things up.
It has come to our attention here at the Potong Association that you want us to do calypso and soca in this year's celebration. Well, pause, check the fine print, read the clause. Because anytime these carnivores in your carnival, it is a bacchanal. 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 Eyes up a tongue, use up a tongue. Stat, that, back, come to run tongue. Heel, or sit down. Better than we pedigree, now you're dead wrong. White, black, tan, spotted or dark wrong. Every breed indeed is just a mix up and mixed down. Bacchanal.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Said if it's not you, me don't want nobody else. Son of a bitch, I'm 100 with Jesus, I'm rolling. See, I would like to try. Me say a brand new Benzie. Travel around the world with my family. And won't it be nice to have a fancy house with a mountain view? Or have unlimited streams of revenue? But if that failed to materialize, I'm so open to your will, oh God. In my heart, I don't need anything, 'cause having you is everything. So me just want you, Jesus, Jesus. Just want you, Jesus, in my life. So me just want you, Jesus, Jesus. Me no need nobody else. Nothing in the world's got my heart. So me just want you. See, I can be a real popular gospel singer, rated as a #1 Grammy winner, chasing the fame and fortune. I can be.
Music has always been one of the most powerful ways to inspire, uplift, and connect people. And when it's paired with a message of faith, well, it has the ability to encourage hearts and strengthen hope and remind us of God's presence through every season of life. And our guest this morning is doing just that through gospel reggae, blending authentic Caribbean rhythms with heartfelt worship and personal testimony. His music, including Just Want You, Thank You, Goodness and Mercy, Cold and All to You, reflects a journey of faith and gratitude and devotion. This morning we're joined by gospel recording artist and songwriter Ezekiel Joseph to talk about his ministry through music, the inspiration behind the latest work, and the message that he hopes his listeners will take away. Ezekiel, good morning to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yes, it is. So tell us, who is Ezekiel Joseph?
Basically a humble guy, a guy just family oriented, love music, hard worker, ambitious. That type of guy,
Yeah. Now, reggae is often associated with messages of social consciousness and real life experiences. But what inspired you to use that sound now as the vehicle for sharing your faith?
Yeah, I've always been drawn to reggae music. I mean, I love reggae music from a tender age coming up. I always drawn to that type of music. I love it. It sits well with me, and I think I carry my messages through the genre of reggae in a real smooth, nice way, Yeah.
Yeah, well, we could have heard that and we saw that. Let's talk about your latest song now. It's called Just Want You.
Yeah.
Now tell us about the heart behind that song. Was there a particular moment or experience that really inspired it?
Yeah, I think I kind of took a sabbatical from the concerts and stages. I used to do a lot of concerts and stuff, and I took a break for a little bit, and then in that break, I was in my shower one time, and while I was there, I was just like, I feel like the posture at that point in that season right there was just me saying, like, I wasn't really feeling for anything much. I just feel like I wanted to just connect a little more with God and my family and that type of thing. So I was just in the bathroom, I just started saying, just want you, Jesus, just want you. And I feel like that's all I wanted, and that, just that's it. And that's where that song basically came from. And then I was asking God, provide the finances for me to just do it. And this whole thing was a whole testimony, because the video was shot in Exuma, Bahamas, and everything was just God providing the finances for it to happen. So it was, yeah.
Gospel music continues to evolve. Artists are embracing different genres and styles. So how do you balance staying true to the message of the gospel while creating music that continues to connect with today's audiences?
Yeah, and that's definitely one of my goals, to continue to stay true. And I think for me, it's always self-introspection and being, real with yourself, because you don't want to be singing about something that you're not living, so it's always self-examination, self-introspection. And I think one of the main things for me is with my family. I feel like one of the because people on the outside may just see you on the camera, see you on the stages, but they really not getting that personal, close thing with you. And I feel like home has to be able to say that, yes, it is this,
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
feel like you had to be true to yourself and doing self-introspection continually. So yeah.
Well, before we go, Ezekiel, I want to take in a bit of that music video in a short bit. But before we wrap up, what do you want someone who's hearing the music for the first time to be able to take away from it?
It's more than a song for me, and I would always hope that the message in the song would really touch persons in a deep way and understand that this is not just a song, it's just not another song. I've done many songs already, and one of my songs, Thank You, I remember it was talking about I could have been dead, I could have been a statistic, I could have been lost, I could have been out of my mind. But thankfully, I was celebrating life, I was celebrating another year. And I say, thank God that I woke up to see a new day. And I remember getting a call one time with some fellas telling me, I remember I could have been shot. And they were running from the police and stuff like that. And they can recall running from gunmen. And one of those guys decided to give up that life, and he made a call and asked the police to come. He wants to surrender and stuff like that, and he gave up his gun that day. And thankfully that song was able to do that. So I would pray that every listener that's listening to my music can have that type of experience. It's not just another song.
You get to have that experience this morning as we end with a bit of your music. Thanks for joining us, Ezekiel. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 to 8, where we do this all over again. Have a beautiful and blessed day, Trinidad and Tobago. Bye-bye.
Nothing in the world's got my heart, so me just want you. Yeah, I can be a real popular gospel singer, rated as a #1 Grammy winner, chasing the fame and fortune. I can be everyone's favorite artist, all around the world on every gospel playlist. Everywhere I go, the people know my name. But of lately I've come to realize all these things are good, but in your eyes I'm not worthy, cause I've missed the mark. Now from you I hear the words depart. So me just want you, Jesus, Jesus, just want you, Jesus in my life. Nothing in the world's got my heart, so me just want you. Oh yeah, see I am set.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success. It's Caribbean Passport TV on TTT, Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Let's get this party started right.
Hi, I'm Penny Gomez, and welcome to Pop. Hey, Ziggy Rankin, welcome to Pop.
Better late than never.
You know what kind of show you sign up for when you come here, right?
Anything can happen, so we on Pop.
Man, not to live, so hey.
You was no Rasta, man.
Never.
Paprika.
Yes, Paprika.
That's not dancer, Nicholas supposed to know because he was...
Who Nicholas? Nicholas as in our song guy?
I will call my punch man great.
Condensed milk to the rescue is what I will see. Last one here, bring it home.
When Penny on the road, what it name? Love how she whining, the way how she carries every load. We love how she whining, and the way you move, and the way you move. Penny girl, you put the man them digging at the mood, and the mother and the young make you look so rude. Love how you whining.
Oh, gentlemen, oh.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Businesswoman Star Sabga has been released from the women's prison at Golden Grove and placed under house arrest after spending just over a month in detention. Her release came late Monday night after a 6-hour stay requested by the state expired, allowing a high court order granting her conditional release to take effect. Ms. Sabga was detained under preventive detention order issued during the state of emergency in connection with an alleged plot to assassinate Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and other senior government officials. She remains subject to the detention order but will now remain at her home under court-imposed conditions while legal proceedings continue. Formed in 2021 during the search for Andrea Barrett, the Hunters Search and Rescue Team has continued to assist in tracking missing persons, rescuing people in distress, and working along hazardous terrain. Captain of the team, Valence Rambarad, noted that among the most recent searches was that for 2-year-old Angelo Tobias in May 2026.
Conclude based on what we were told by the police officers. That his body was thrown. He was murdered and his body was thrown into the sea, into that washing machine area.
Yes, I remember you spoke about that.
Entire Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't think anyone in really could have survived being thrown into that whirlpool that was surrounded by a rocky area. It was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
He noted that the team has 39 volunteers who participate in these search operations. The team's executive chairman, Johnny Maharaj, also highlighted that many people work behind the scenes to support the organization and its efforts.
As you can see, almost every day someone is going missing now. So it has us on our toe doing these searches. As far as necessary tools and stuff we need. We always need tools, gears. We have people that we have corporate sponsors. We have the community that supports us.
Among their sponsors are several supermarkets which sponsor their meals during searches. In other news, women parliamentarians of tomorrow took center stage in the Parliament on Friday as participants in the 2026 cohort of the Yes Leadership Program debated an opposition motion calling for comprehensive legislation to regulate the use of artificial intelligence, digital technologies and online platforms. The Prime Minister of the mock sitting in Parliament, Chrisanne Bedesi, rejected the motion, noting that its one-size approach will not address the issues currently facing citizens.
That these harms are real, but we have an issue, one comprehensive legislation. We cannot teach them now what that means because they need to do their research. But that is not the right instrument to use to address this issue. We believe it is not, which is why in 6 months, we hope the members of the opposition and independent members will support us when we bring our hybrid legislative framework comprising of our existing laws, backed by new legislation where necessary to protect our citizens from AI misuse, harmful surveillance, and data exploitation.
The Attorney General at the mock sitting, Jimmy Critchlow, elaborated on what the proposed framework will entail.
We will extensively amend the Data Protection Act to cover personal data, biometric identifiers, and AI training data sets. Each ministry will advance sector-specific provisions reflecting its mandate. Once these amendments are completed, the Act will be fully proclaimed, establishing an enforceable framework that guarantees citizens meaningful rights over their personal data use.
Following a spirited 5-hour debate, the motion was defeated. In some sport now, NBA draft pick Malik Lewis paid a courtesy call in the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs on Monday as he prepared to inspire the next generation of local athletes. Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs Philip Watts welcomed San Fernando-born Malik Lewis and his manager Jonathan Weeks on a courtesy call to his office on Monday morning. Lewis, selected 60th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2026 NBA draft, told the minister he left Trinidad and Tobago at age 6 and didn't pick up the basketball until he was 16. While home, Lewis says he plans to meet with local sporting committees and share his story with young athletes. He He's been training at the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs Elite Facility in Tacarigua, keeping up his morning and evening sessions. Minister Watt says Lewis's rise should be a motivation to athletes nationwide. And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. On behalf of our entire team, have a wonderful day.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news. Real stories in real time. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.